Go Socks. Today wait, hold on, why I keep doing that? Let me change myself again. Today we are reacting to SCP-277, Chalkland. When I was a kid, I used to watch Chalk Zone and stuff like that, so that reminded me a little bit of Chalk Zone. So a little bit, but it's the SCP, so you don't know what kind of shit's gonna happen. It might be a good story, it might be a bad story. Again, go to SCP, explain stories and animation. Like, comment, subscribe to them. Like, comment, subscribe to us, the Ghost Socks. Oh, and one more thing. If y'all got any like horror stories, like anything y'all want me to react to, comment down. I'm back, so I will get back to you. And I'm trying to be consistent. I'm trying to do this because I got only 2 days to do it. So I'm trying to do at least 3 videos a day or 4 if I get the chance, or maybe 5. But I'm not trying to overdo myself. So right now I'm just gonna stick to 3 videos a day, even though it's for 2 days. When I do, if I do a day, like let's just say if I do a day like on a Monday, or not on a Monday, on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, that means that day wasn't a busy day for work. That means I got time to do this shit. So, crap, I gotta stop cursing. So, right now, we're watching Chalkland, SCP-277. You know, with me, y'all gonna have to relax, get comfortable. What else? No masturbating, okay? Don't masturbate on my video. We're gonna have a problem. Nah, fam. We're gonna have a problem. Alright, let's start it.
Driving all through the night until tomorrow. You need to sleep. The one problem is, you don't know the highway you're on all that well. And picture this. You're out driving, visiting the more rural towns of your home country. It's been a long trip. Hours at a time, or sometimes full days spent on the open road, with brief stops taken only for gas and snacks. Every time you hit the next town, you stop for the night, maybe book a day or 2 at a local hotel to rest. Then you're right back out on the road again. It's been a little while since you left the last town, and it's starting to get late. The sun is dipping behind the horizon, and pretty soon it'll be night again. You don't think it's a good idea to keep driving all through the night until tomorrow. You need to sleep. The one problem is, you don't know the highway you're on all that well, and the people at the last town didn't mention there being anywhere else to stay for at least a few more miles. But then you turn on the radio, accidentally tuning into some kind of locally produced tourism ad. Through the airwaves and the ever-growing evening darkness, you hear, "Welcome to Chalkland, a nice rural town with a population who just can't bear to leave. Located just off the freeway, you'll find our town is filled with all sorts of colorful folks who love nothing more than to greet new faces."
Wait, so it's the news, it's the radio broadcast, the one that's telling, wait. Hear me out, people, hear me out. I'm a little bit confused right now, Is the news broadcast the one that's telling people about the Chalkland, or does it just automatically happen to certain people? They will tell me, but let me rewind it a little bit. Y'all know what I mean? Like, come on.
In the ever-growing evening darkness, you hear, "Welcome to Chalkland, a nice rural town with a population who just can't bear to leave. Located just off the freeway, you'll find our town is filled with all sorts of colorful folks who love nothing more than to greet new faces. From the moment you arrive, you'll see firsthand the Chalkland locals' love for art and expression. And we even encourage our younger residents to get in on the fun and let their creative flair show. Chalkland. Once you're here, you just won't be able to leave." Chalkland? You've never heard of the place. It wasn't on any of the maps when you planned out your route, and it doesn't even show up on your car's GPS. And what's more, the people at the last town you visited never said anything about it. They said the nearest neighboring city was much, much further away. Did they lie? Why wouldn't they tell you that this other town was closer? You spot a road sign up ahead, pointing towards the turn for Chalkland, and decide to try your chances. A good night's rest and you'll be back on the road. Or so you think.
Hey, does any of y'all blame him though? Be honest. Do you blame him though? Do you? Do you? Do you? Oh, let me back my ass up. I'm getting too close to the camera. But do you though? Do you blame him? I don't blame him because why the fuck they didn't tell me? Alright, everybody, I'm gonna try to not curse that much because I curse a lot.
Small town, there are bound to be secrets, local legends, ghost stories, even grudges between families that have lived there for generations. No matter how friendly and unassuming a place might seem on the surface, there's always bound to be something that people just don't talk about. The township of Chalkland, otherwise known as SCP-277, is no exception, hiding a fair few secrets of its own. Although the locals don't know it, they are living their seemingly ordinary lives under constant surveillance. Operatives of the SCP Foundation have been integrated among the townsfolk, embedded within the civilian population to monitor some of the strange happenings going on in this otherwise normal town. So why not take a walk with us through Main Street, down the avenues of Chalkland, as we draw your attention to some of the mysteries of SCP-277. The first thing you'll probably notice as you stroll around town are all the chalk drawings. They're everywhere, on the sidewalks and the outer walls of buildings, scribbled on trash cans and houses. Practically every playground in town has been turned into an urban art installation for these colorful children's drawings. Not at all that weird at first glance.
So you don't got nobody to clean that shit? So nobody out there be like, hey, I got some graffiti on my house. Who kid did this? Nobody ask questions? Everybody just be like, oh shit, that look nice, a butterfly. Shit, I wish I can grow a butterfly like that, but I gotta get my old ass to work. You know? Come on, man.
That's right. Perhaps it's a good thing that the town encourages its kids to express themselves by having them draw all over the town with chalk.
So you just gonna rebug everything I just said? Alright, touche, okay.
But these images coating the town, on every street corner and alleyway, they weren't drawn with chalk. These apparitions found throughout the area of SCP-277 might look like harmless art, but not one of them was created in the way you might expect. Little Timmy didn't spend a few minutes on his hands and knees dragging a lump of chalk over the concrete. Oh no. The drawings found around Chalkland seem to be projected directly from the minds of the town's children. All their thoughts, their wild and unfiltered imaginations have somehow been plastered all over every surface you can find. The Foundation calls these images...
Whoa. This is gonna be a long video, people, so get some popcorn, sit down, enjoy the day, and again, don't masturbate. Alright. Let's back up for 10 seconds.
Their thoughts, their wild and unfiltered imaginations have some drawings found around Chalkland seem to be projected directly from the minds of the town's children. All their thoughts, their wild and unfiltered imaginations have somehow been plastered all over every surface.
Don't curse. Alright, how the heck? Ooh, that was a good one. Okay. How the heck a butterfly got way up there? And how the heck? I know y'all saw it the first glance. Y'all was like, wait, okay, drawing on the bottom. Okay, that sounds normal. But all the way up there? Alright. I ain't gonna say no more.
Surface you can find. The Foundation calls these images instances of SCP-277-1, with almost all of them appearing as figures drawn in white outlines. Creepy, isn't it? Like part of a crime scene. Luckily, some of these projections take the form of beanstalks, spaceships, anything from the imagination of the child manifesting them. An instance of SCP-277-1 doesn't possess any physical form, or any substantial three-dimensional body, and the size, shape, and style and complexity of each drawing varies, all depending on the child that creates them. Additionally, it's only children that have the capacity to produce these images. Anyone over the age of pubescence is completely unable to do so. As for how exactly the children...
No, I had to pause that. Fuck! I call boogie. That's a new word. I call boogie. You know? Like, that sounds nasty. Why? Why we can't participate? I like drawing. I'm an artist. If you want to see some of my artwork, let me stop. I'm an artist, so I like drawing. That's messed up. I want to draw on buildings.
Chalkland create SCP-277-1 instances? Well, most of the time they aren't even aware that they're projecting their thoughts into the form of these anomalous drawings. It is an entirely unconscious and involuntary process. It's hard for the SCP Foundation to put an exact number on the number of children in Chalkland, given the sheer size of the town and its population. So, predicting the exact number of active instances of SCP-277-1s at any one time is pretty tricky, if not downright unfeasible. The Foundation agents embedded among the townsfolk have been able to confirm that these drawings or projections are capable of interacting with fellow SCP-277-1 instances, while physical objects can pass through them without causing or sustaining any form of damage. It is due to this factor that the children living in SCP-277 can often be seen playing with their chalk projections, and the existence of these living drawings is viewed as a totally normal and everyday occurrence by the adult residents of Chalkland. In fact, you can ask anyone who grew up living in SCP-277, any lifelong local born and raised in Chalkland, and they will tell you that the living chalk projections of the town's children have existed as long as the town itself has. According to the claims of the older residents, SCP-277-1 instances have been appearing in Chalkland for years and years, dating all the way back to when SCP-277 was first colonized and the earliest settlers arrived in the town. However, the Foundation isn't so sure that these claims are 100% accurate. For one, they can't.
You mean to tell me I lived there my whole entire life? I saw what I saw. I know what I know. I did what I did. Let me stop. I'm going too deep. But you know, like, if I tell you that I grew that my whole life, and now I'm an old person, and I'm still there, bitch, you better believe what I said. Let me stop.
Even find a single record of SCP-277 existing before the 2000s. Even those living in neighboring towns refuse to believe that Chalkland is a real place that exists. Adding to the mystery surrounding the town of SCP-277 is the fact that all of its inhabitants also don't seem to exist, or at least have no official record of their existence anywhere else. According to tests conducted by the Foundation,
Never mind.
The dental, DNA, and fingerprint data of everyone living in SCP-277 don't match any recorded persons on national population databases. And on top of that, none of the Chalkland residents have any memories of living anywhere else other than the mysterious town, or ever having traveled anywhere outside it either. No vacations, road trips, not even as much as a visit to relatives in the next town over.
At least I lived there.
Naturally, before they implanted covert agents among the locals, the SCP Foundation's initial attempt to contain SCP-277 was to evacuate the civilian population. The plan was to remove the people from the vicinity of the town, relocate them, and then assess the local area's anomalous properties. What was it about that specific town that caused the chalk projections to manifest? Why were none of the residents' details anywhere on the national databases? And how could a single one of them never have once left the confines of Chalkland? Evacuate and assess. That was the goal. But naturally, things weren't as simple in practice. Multiple failed evacuation attempts were made, with some unforeseen incidences causing the operation to go awry. In an attempt to combat this, the SCP Foundation tried to vary the specific details of its evacuation strategy each time, but even then they couldn't get the people out of the town. Well, what?
So it's Euclid then, because it's just a town, so it's you know the area, so it won't escape to different areas, so it's Euclid. I thought it was Keter, because it's saying like it's multiple of it, but it's in one place, so you can contain it, but you don't know what's gonna happen. Okay, I got you.
perhaps far stranger was that every time the Foundation attempted a new evacuation, the civilians living in SCP-277 denied having any memories of the earlier failed evacuations. There was so much disbelief in the occurrence of these prior evacuation attempts that it caused the Foundation to question if these attempts even took place. The only record of the failed evacuations existing were in their own files. On the odd occasion that Foundation operatives were able to get one or two residents of SCP-277 far enough away from the town, they learned it was an exercise in futility. After spending any longer than a few brief minutes outside the borders of Chalkland, a resident would suffer some sort of violent incident. The exact nature of what would happen to them has been redacted. However, we know for a fact that they weren't killed just by leaving the town. Shortly after, these evacuated civilians would be found back within SCP-277, with no memory of ever having left the town. But what was causing all of these attempted evacuations to fail? What exactly was preventing the townsfolk from leaving? Well, the answers to these questions may be found in a unique instance of SCP-277-1, which are far more actively hostile versions of the chalk drawings that were collectively given the designation SCP-277-1-R. These instances first came about sometime before the Foundation started attempting to evacuate Chalkland. One of their agents, undercover within the town and monitoring anomalous activity, spotted a seemingly standard SCP-277-1 projection in the shape of a rabbit. It wasn't a drawing that had been noticed previously, so it wasn't present in any reports coming out of SCP-277. But yet, there it was, at the local library. None of the town's children admitted to being responsible for casting this new projection. Unusual, but not uncommon. After all, they are kids. Think about it. We're sure that as a kid you might have done something that you didn't fess up to when a grown-up asked you. Granted, you probably never cast a psychic projection onto a library, though. The Foundation agents within SCP-277 knew that the instances of the chalk drawings could often be good indicators of the psychological state of the child that manifested them. So they aimed to keep an eye out for any further SCP-277-1-R rabbits with a matching drawing style. Turns out the agents found plenty more of these rabbits. Before long, sightings of SCP-277-1-R instances had tripled in frequency since that first one appeared at the library. But what was it that made these projections different from the regular SCP-277-1 chalk drawings? Well, Agent Davis of the SCP Foundation witnessed a cluster of these rabbit projections across the street from a diner. They were silently watching people or cars that passed by at a nearby intersection. The rabbits didn't play like the other sketches. Suddenly, the agent heard a scream from a little girl. She had been playing with her own chalk drawings that took the shape of a pony with wings. Agent Davis turned around to see one of the rabbits attacking the little girl's sketch, practically consuming the drawing thanks to instances of SCP-277-1 being able to interact with each other. At the same time, the attack seemed to cause the little girl to suffer some form of seizure. All around, the rest of the rabbits were doing the same, seeking out other chalk drawings and devouring them, tearing them apart and causing the children that created their own SCP-277-1s to suffer the same seizure. Ultimately, any child who had their projection attacked by a rabbit collapsed soon after and slipped into a coma, with attempts to awaken them proving unsuccessful. 3 months later, all of the rabbit drawings seemed to have vanished, with no clue if they had come from a child or were created from the town of SCP-277 itself. The local civilians gave mixed responses when asked, some claiming to have no memory of the event that put multiple children into comas. Meanwhile, other townsfolk simply stated that this sort of thing happens in Chalkland every few years. SCP Foundation staff noticed that the residents of SCP-277 seemed to smile too wide when they explained this, as if their town was a fairy tale, and that the massacre was just a part of a happy ending. Still, if you're thinking of stopping at Chalkland, maybe it's safer to just keep driving. Now go check out You'll Never Make It to SCP-084 Static Tower and the Horror of Body-Stealing Rain SCP-3300 for more places you should definitely avoid on your next road trip.
Alright, everybody. That was beautiful. I love that. I love that. I love that video. That was good. That was good. from beginning, it was like, okay, alright, I know why told me about this. To the middle, I was like, yeah, bitch, I live here. I know where I stay. You know my address, it's right there. And then at the end, I was like, nah, I don't want to stay there, bro. I don't want to go there. Nah. What if you can't leave, bro? You know, I don't want to go. All right, everybody. That was SCP-22. I'm 22. That was SCP-277, Chalkland by SCP Explain Stories and Animation. I love SCP content. I love scary short film. I like anything. Just comment down. Maybe we can do some challenges. We could try some challenges. So comment down. I'm back. Let's. I already said that. You know what to do. This the Ghost Socks. Peace out. Peace.